Okay, so I've been hearing that y'all wanted to know how to do this. Now, I am not doing this with a script because I would be boring. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. Also, this is one of the first videos I'm gonna be editing with my laptop. Wow! Look at the ASMR time. I hope I didn't mess anything up in my computer. We're gonna start with Ibis Paint because, of course. The first things first, you have to get like a really colorful image. Now, if you're doing for a specific show, then I would use a picture that has like all the characters. Especially if all the characters are like very colorful. So I chose a different picture for the one that I use now, but for the one that I'm gonna be doing today, I'm gonna be using a different picture, and it's this one with like all the characters. Yay! It's a little different because the other one was like all the characters had their own colors and stuff, but this one's like different. Wow. Anyways, so you gotta like go to the sharpness in blur effects, and you just gotta put that baby all the way up. Next up, you gotta go to the little thingy where you're gonna want to go to artistic and go to retro game. And what I did is I put the dot size to 5, but left everything else the same. I think you could like put the saturation all the way up if you wanted, but I'm pretty sure that the sharpness already did that basically. Next up, you're going to want to just mess around with it, I guess. Use like different brushes to like move them around to make it all look all distorted and stuff. If some of them are round or just not squared, pixelated, then you could use the retro game effect again, and it should fix that. After that, after that you should have something like this. Obviously, the characters are still there, but you could barely tell. And even then, if you zoomed in, you could see them. Next up is with Alight Motion. Anyways, you go to Alight Motion, obviously, and then you get to use add a little block. Obviously, you gotta have your image and like stored for later because you're gonna need that. Anyways, you want to add an effect after zooming in the little square you added from the little menu. Wait, to add the square, yeah, oh my gosh. To add the square, you gotta add the little plus button, then click on shape, then obviously click on the square. Then zoom it in to, I don't know, as much as you want, I guess. I know in this video, I just zoomed it all the way in because I was feeling lazy. But the best thing to do is I kind of resize it so that way it's the size, or at least a similar size to your screen, or to the size of the video that it's gonna be. If that makes sense. Next up, you can make it any color, but I just made it red. You've got to add effect and add block dissolve. You could keep it how it is, or you could change it. If you do change it, then maybe like add stretching. But we're not done yet. Not for a second. Don't think that we're done, because we're not. You gotta go click it again and then add effect again, and go to facial warp, fractal warp. Mess around with it because sometimes it could just like have these weird lines where it makes it look really weird, and that's just like it being stretched in an area where it's like it cannot become like squiggly lines and has to stretch it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a scientist. Anyways, after that you got to pixelate. You gotta add the pixelation or pixelate filter and just stretch that bad boy. And you're pretty much halfway done. Kind of, not really. You could probably tell by the runtime. After that, you're going to stretch both the photo and the newly pixelated red or any color you chose thing really far. I choose around 15 seconds because I feel like that's the most comfortable my phone will be when exporting. And it's still being long, obviously. After that, you got to go to effects, facial warp, and then create a little the key for the thing on parallax. After that, you gotta move it around, keep scrolling a lot, or you could just put a number. I put 2763. If you know, you know, which you probably do because you're watching a BFDI video thing. After that, it should look pretty. It should look already like, you know, the Pibby glitch if it was one solid color. But obviously, we're not here for that. No, we want the thingy. We want the color. We want the glitchiness. So you gotta add your thingy, the picture you just made. Then you zoom it in. Now there are two ways you can do this. I'm gonna show you both. The first way is to add effect and then go to random displacement. Add more keyframes or whatever the little diamonds are. I remember what they're called, but I forgot. I forgot, but I remembered. Anyways. Then you gotta go to seed. You gotta add them in the seed thing, and then at the end or at the beginning, just like move it, and then it should, you know, shake. Obviously, that's not gonna work perfectly. So, in order for it to be more random, go to magnitude, and then just crank that bad boy a lot. Boom, that should work perfectly fine. But if you notice, there's some places where like it cuts off and you could see the background, then you could always go to add another effect and then add tiles, and that fills in anything that's like, you know, like that. After that, you gotta make that bad boy a clipping mask. After that, you're basically done, but we're not here to be basic. Oh, no, 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 no. We are here to be awesome. So, we're going to backtrack, and we're going to remove tiles, and we're going to remove displacement. And instead, we're going to add fractal warp. You could, again, mess around with it, and then eventually, you're going to want to go to parallax, and then just move it around, like, you know, keep scrolling, scroll, and then you're going to want to add pixelate. After you do that, you gotta obviously stretch it, and because you added the, you know, the little chroma key, it should be moving. Then you create closing mask, and boom, you basically already have it. But BUTT, that we're not done. Again, add another square, and add another square behind it, or just change the background temporarily. This new square will be a whole new color. And this one is very specific, and you cannot change it to like a different color unless you're weird. Black, it has to be black. Then you just repeat step 1 basically. You gotta add block dissolve, facial warp, and pixelate. Adjust any of them to your liking, and then you should get something like this. Now, before I move on, I feel like it's safe to know, because I did not mention this earlier. Oh my goodness. Okay. I did not mention this earlier, but you should definitely, when you're doing the block dissolve effect, do a little less, if not as less as you possibly can. Well, not as less as you possibly can. You still want there to be a great number of blocks, but like, try to not have as much as you did for the first one. Okay, that's it. After that, you just do the same thing with the fractal warp and all that jazz. And after that, you should get something like this. We're not gonna add another clipping layer or whatever because, well, it's already done. The black little layer is supposed to be for like giving all the colors some space. So that way, I don't know. I just personally like it. I mean, if you like more craziness, then you are free to just ignore this last step. After that, this next step should be pretty simple if you've been using Alight Motion for a long time. Technically, you should know this even if you've been using it for a little bit, but whatevs. You gotta export it. Thankfully, if... oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. If you're gonna have to watch an ad or two if you want to export it, you know, if you don't have like the Pro and stuff. So, yeah, it's also gonna have the thing, you know, the watermark, the watermark. But yeah, it's gonna have that. But if you have the Pro, or you're evil and you pirated it, which I do not condone in any way, because you could get a virus. Seriously, you could get a virus. I'm not joking. That's something that could happen. So be safe. But yeah, obviously, I do not condone pirating. But if you do pirate, which again, I'm not condoning at all. Pirating is bad. But if you do, just be safe. Make sure it's from like a trusted website or something. And like verify that it doesn't have any viruses. I want your phones to not explode. Okay? Or your laptops or your iPads. After you export, you should have it. That's pretty much it. You gotta save it, obviously, and then boom, you have your Pibby thingy glitchy darkness texture thing. Yay! Like and subscribe. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. Like and subscribe, and maybe watch some of these videos that are about to pop up on your screen. Most of them are either in animation or a show that I made. Subscribe to me, pretty please. I'm begging you. Okay, bye.